continue and execute what? Statement 1 and statement 2. So if the condition is a true, okay, then it will repeat again statement 1 and statement 2. But if the condition is a false, what will happen? Stop. Okay. It means in this exit control loop, the statements are executed at least once. At least once loop is repeated here. So there is a statement 3, and after that, so what you have here is stop. So there is a stop here, right? So there is a start, and then so you are trying to write number of statements here. Okay. So this is exit control. So as a part of JavaScript, there is only one exit control is there. And what is that exit control is? Do while. So there is only one exit control, and that is what here? Do while, right? So just as here. So there are, why we are using looping control statements is, we are using a looping control statements to repeat one or more than one statement number of times or until given condition. So there is an entry control looping statements. How many entry control looping statements are there? 2. One is a while and one more is a for. And there is one more looping control statement called exit control looping statement. And that is what here? Do while. Do while is there. For example, suppose in JavaScript, for example, in JavaScript, assume that, so I have an array. Okay, assume that there is one array. Array is a collection of what generally you'll say. Array is a collection of what? Similar type elements. Array is a collection of similar type elements or not? Yes. I want to read values from array. How can I read values from the array? Okay. To read values from array, you take the help of what? Index. To read values from array, you take the help of index, right? For example, the name of this array is A. If I want to read 10 values, I have to use how many indexes? 10 indexes. I need to say A of 0. So that will read first value. If I'm saying A of 1, that will read what? Second value. If I'm saying A of 2, I should read, that will read what? Third value. But if I want to read 10 values, I have to write the same thing. How many times I should write like this? 10 times. Okay. If I want to read 100 values, I have to write like this. How many times? 100 times. So will it that increase the size of the script or not? Yes. To avoid that, you write how many times? Only one time. And execute how many times? 100 times. But how can you execute one statement 100 times? You try to put this statement inside one loop. So that can be either while loop, that can be either what? For loop. Now suppose there is a list is there. Okay, there is a drop down list is there. I want to add some 100 values into this list. I want to add how many values into this list? 100 values. I want to add how many values into this list? 100 values I want to add. How can I add 100 values into the list? So for adding inside the list, assume that there is one function called which one? Add. Then I need to execute this add how many times here? 100 times. Getting on not? Okay. Then to execute or to repeat this add 100 times, I try to put this add operation within one. I try to put this add operation within one loop. Okay. Yes. Please just try to understand how to work with this looping control statements. So that can be either entry control, that can be either what? Exit control. So first we'll see the syntax of which loop here? While loop. Okay. So syntax of which one? While. While is a keyword. So while keyword. So while keyword represent which one? While loop. Okay. While keyword represent which loop here? While loop. Okay. So what is the name of the keyword I am using? While. So what is the syntax? Is while. Okay. While it followed by what is this? Condition. While followed by condition. and it's a block. And when you're saying a block, the block is open with curly brace, and then you include number of statements. So there is a statement 1 and statement 2. So how many statements are included inside the while? 2 statements. And there is a statement 3. But is it statement 3 is within while or outside the while? Outside the while. Okay. So now while loop, I mean, here JavaScript engine repeat. JavaScript engine repeat. What it repeat? Statement 1 comma. JavaScript engine repeat statement 1 comma statement 2 until what condition is? Until condition is what? True. If the condition is false, then what will happen? It will come out of the loop and execute which one? Statement 3. It will come out of the loop and generate which one? Statement 3 here, right? Suppose assume that, for example, a basic example, but to work with the while, you required some statements. Okay, while loop required how many statements here? 3 statements. One is called as initialization statement. Okay, and second one is called as a condition, and third one is called as which statement? Update statement. So in order to work with the while, you required how many statements? 3 statements are required. One is called as initialization statement, and second one is called as a condition, and third one is called as which statement? Update statement. Initialization statement. I mean, the statement define. First one is initialization statement or initialize statement. This statement define initial value of which one? Condition. This initialization statement define the initial value of what? Condition. Okay, there is one more statement called condition. It is a Boolean expression. This condition is nothing but Boolean expression which define how many times while loop has to be what? Repeated. How many times a while to be repeated? So that is represented by using which one? Condition. And there's one more statement called which statement? Update statement. This statement what here? Update what here? Condition. So to work with a while, you required how many statements? 3 statements you required. One is initialization, and second one is updation, and third one is what? Condition. Initialization, updation, and one more is condition, right? For example, okay, so for example here, yes. So for example, yes. For example, I want to print a message. Print a message some 5 times. I want to print one message. How many times here? 5 times. Very simple example. So I want to print one message. How can you print a message? Using console dot, what is this here? Log. I want to print one message. What is a message? Here is a JavaScript. I want to print this message JavaScript how many times? 5 times. Then I need to repeat this statement how many times? 5 times. Then what do you do it? Take one initialization. So you start counting from where? 1 onwards. So let I equal to what here? 1. Okay, what is the value of I here? 1. And you should repeat how many times here? Until I is less than or equal to, until I is less than or equal to which one? 5. You have to repeat this until I is less than or equal to 5. I is less than or equal to 5. You have to repeat this until I is less than or equal to 5. Okay, then there should be one statement called which one? I plus plus. So here I equal to 1 is called which statement? Initialization statement. And I is less than or equal to 5 is called which statement? Condition. And I plus plus is called as which statement? Update statement. I mean, this is a statement which will update what here? Condition. What is the value of I? 1. Is it 1 is less than or equal to 5? Yes. What will happen? It will print what here? JavaScript. And after that I plus plus, the value of I becomes what? 1. Is it 1 is, sorry, 2. Is it 2 is less than or equal to 5? Yes. What it will print here? JavaScript. Then I is I plus plus means 3. Is it 3 is less than or equal to 5? Yes. It will print a JavaScript. And I plus plus, it becomes 4. Is it 4 is less than or equal to 5? Yes. It will print again what? JavaScript. I plus plus, it is a 5. Is it 5 is less than or equal to 5? Yes. It will print again what? JavaScript. I plus plus means it becomes 6. Is it 6 is less than or equal to 5? No. Then will it continue or stop? Stop. So this is called as initialization statement. And this is called as which one? Condition. And this is called as which statement? Update statement. To work with the while, you require these 3 statements. Okay. Suppose here. Yes. आप जावा में पढ़े होंगे, easy only. Okay na? Right. Just to try to understand this. But how many times it is printed this JavaScript? One time, 5 times. What is this message? 5 times. How many times it is repeated here? 5 times. Or if you want, you can write in which one? Can you write in alert? Can you write alert? Yes. Just take alert. Otherwise, in console, it will say only 5. Means that is get printed how many times? 5 times. 1 time. Okay. 2 times. 3, 4, and 1 more is 5. So how many times it is get printed here? 5 times. If it is a console, it will print 5 times. But can you see 5 times? Can you see 5 times console dot log? Console dot log. Okay. So once you run this, it is try to print the JavaScript how many times? 5 times it is printed. Here 5 times. Here 5 is there. It means this JavaScript is repeated how many times? 5 times it is repeated. Right? Yes. It is only for debugging, right? I said no, console is used only for debugging purpose. Okay. Yes. For example, if any one statement is not there, is it this execution of this looping statement is done perfectly? No. Okay, you need to have how many statements here? So 3 statements should be there. If any one statement is not there, the loop is not executed, right? Suppose if I don't write I plus plus, if I don't write I plus plus, then always the value of I is what? 1. 1 is less than or equal to 5. Yes. Print JavaScript. 1 is less than or equal to 5. Yes. Print JavaScript. 1 is less than or equal to 5. Print JavaScript. How many times? Infinite times. How many times it will print? Infinite times. Okay. Just open the console here. How many times it will print this? Infinite times it will print it. Okay. So is it executed? How many times here? Infinite. Okay, but is it open? Console window is open or not open? Not open. Why? Because it is keep on what? Printing it. Because is it any end for this console? No. Correct or not? There is no end for this. Because of that, so there should be one statement which update. There should be one statement which should update which one? Condition. There should be one statement which should update which one? Condition. Right? Now this is a statement which update this condition or not? Yes. Just try to understand here. Okay. So 3 statements should be there. How many statements should be there? 3 statements. For example here, within the while loop, I'm saying document dot write. I just write document dot write. What I'm writing? I'm writing one message, and I'm writing this message in what? Topic 1. And what is the message I'm writing here is, what is the message I'm writing? JavaScript. What I write here? JavaScript. Now tell me this JavaScript. I just write here I++. Okay. So this JavaScript get printed how many times here? 5 times. I can see JavaScript, JavaScript, JavaScript. And yes, how many times it is repeated? 5 times. Now you can use document dot write. So instead of using which one? Console. If I don't write this I++, if I don't write this I++, let's keep on. See, is it infinite or not? Yes. Is rotating, means is it processing or not? Yes. Okay, now. So there should be one statement which should terminate that particular loop. And what is that statement which terminate that particular loop? Update statement. This one you can call it as which statement? Update statement. I++ is called which statement? Update statement. So please just try to understand here. Okay. Now can I write? I said H1. In the place of H1, what I'm using, suppose. So how many headers are there? 6 or 7? How many headers are there? H1 to H1 to what? H6. I want to print this JavaScript from H1 to H6. Now what I am doing, I'm trying to concatenate which value? I value. I try to concatenate which value? I value, and print which one? JavaScript. And then I need to close, right? So then H. So I need to concatenate. Which value I'm trying to concatenate? I value. I try to concatenate which value? I value. See here. What is the value of I here? 1. So H1. So this becomes what here? H1. And this is the beginning of the H1, and this is what? End of the H1. But how you are doing this? By concatenating which value? By concatenating which value? I value. You are trying to concatenate which value? I value. Now this is the heading 1, and this is what? Heading 2, and this is heading 3 and 4, 5, and this is what here? 6. Okay, same heading. Same heading. You are trying to print using how many headers? 6 headers. So here H1, and then H2, then H3, then H4, H5, H6, and then what? Stop. Because if the value of I is 7, is it 7 is less than or equal to 6? No. Then will it continue or stop? Stop. So it will repeat this until given condition is what? True. But if the condition is a false, will it repeat or stop? Stop. So anything you can write it. Okay, right now this is the syntax of which one here? While. So this is a while loop. Basic example I said. So while loop is repeated until given condition is a true. So when the condition is a false, it will stop. Okay. So I'll tell you one more example just to understand how this while loop is executed. So while loop. Okay, now this is a simple script to print sum of okay, sum of how many numbers here? N numbers. So accept numbers from okay, accept numbers from where? User. As a script to print sum of n numbers, accept numbers from where? User, right? Accept the sum of n numbers, Then first you have to input the value of which one? N. I'm saying percent. Okay, let n equal to percent of, okay, prompt, okay, enter value of which one? N. Enter value of n. Suppose if the n value is 10, it should input how many numbers? 10 numbers. If the value of n is 5, then it should input how many numbers? 5 numbers. Then how can I repeat that? By try to put inside which one? Looping statement. While I'm saying n is greater than which one? 0. While n is greater than 0. N is greater than 0. Suppose the value of n is 5. Is it 5 is greater than 0? Yes. When the condition is a true, what you are doing? You are trying to input the number. So I said here percent. So percent and prompt enter which one? Number. Enter number. And this number should be added to which one? Sum. But initially, what is the value of sum? 0. And then I'm saying sum. Sum plus equal to which one? Number. Sum plus equal to number is nothing but sum equal to sum plus what? Number. Sum equal to sum plus number. Where I said sum plus equal to what? Number. Okay. Then after that I'm saying n minus minus. Is it value of n is incremented or decremented? Decremented. Suppose the value of n is, assume that the value of n is what here? 3. Is it 3 is greater than 0? Yes. Okay, then I input one number. What is it number? 10. S equal to s plus number means 0 plus 10 becomes what? 10. N minus minus means the value of n becomes what? 2. Is it 2 is greater than 0? Yes. Okay, then I input one number, 20. And 10 plus 20 is what here? 30. N minus minus, the value of n becomes what? 1. Is it 1 is greater than 0? Yes. Okay, then I try to input number some 30. And 30 plus 30 is what? 60. Then n minus minus means the value of n becomes what? 0. Is it 0 is greater than 0? No. This condition is what here? False. If it is a false, it just come out of the loop, right? And outside the loop, you write document dot sum write. What you are writing? Some sum of. Okay, so you can put in one heading, sum of numbers. Okay, sum of numbers. You can just print the value of which one? Sum. Just print the value of sum here, right? So not on the console, but I try to print in what? Document itself. Okay. So enter the value of n, five numbers. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, right? Now you can see the sum of numbers is what here? 150, right? So that is 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40 plus 50. The result is given what here? So just to try to understand how this while loop is. How to write a while loop is. Okay. How to write the while. Okay. So while is an entry control because what will happen in while is before executing the block of statements, before executing the block of statements, first what it is doing, it is checking first what? Condition. If the condition is a true, then only it will execute what? Statements. If the condition is a false, will it execute the statements? No. Here also same thing. See, this is a flow chart here. Flow chart. They go here. Start. Sorry. This is a flow chart. Start. Condition A. Condition true. Then statement 1 and statement 2. After executing statement 1, statement 2, again it will check the condition. If the condition is true, again execute statement 1 and statement. Now this repetition is how many times? Until this condition is what? False. Once it is a false, it will come out of the loop and execute what? Statement 3 and then what? Stop. Okay. Yes. Prashant. Okay, Google Class Code. Okay, yes. Now here also same thing. You are trying to input the value of which one? N. Okay. So always the N must be greater than what? 0. Because I should read how many numbers? N numbers. N must be greater than what? 0. If N is less than 0, will it ask you to input the numbers? No. If the N is greater than 0, then only it will ask you to input what? Number. And that number you are adding to what? Sum. And you are decrementing the value of what? N, because to update this condition or not. Okay, understand the syntax of it, but it is useful. See, when I move into the HTML with the JavaScript, again, I'll not tell you what is a while loop and what is a for loop, right? So we are learning all these things first. We are learning all these things first. Okay. So at that time, you should not ask me like again, what is a while and what is a for. Okay. Because I'm telling you first what are the whatever prerequisites are there. I'll tell you how to write functions and everything I'll tell you. Okay. अरे गूगल क्लास कोड इतने दिन किधर है यार इतने दिन किधर गए So there is one more looping statement. अरे Subhan is Sheikh. Sheikh इतने दिन किधर गए यार So there is another looping statement. And what is it? Another looping statement here is which looping statement? For loop is there. Nobody means I should respond. Yeah, who will there? अरे कुछ link है यार अरे online students, you have any classroom code is there? You just put in chat window online students. Online students. You have a classroom code, a new classroom code. YZOA. Old one, new one. New one. Yeah, okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, यार. Okay, thank you. देखो यार ये कौन है? सुभानी शेख. देखो यार इधर आ गया देखो. Others? Not display. बस है यार मैं बस बोला यार. हाँ. Yes, Shubhani Sheikh is class code है. Use this code and join. Okay ना? Use this code and join. So there is one more. There is one more. Okay, here. Subhan. Yeah, okay. Over, right? So there is one more looping statement is there. And what is it? Another looping statement is for loop is there. There's another looping statement called for loop is there. And this looping statement is used. Okay. Generally, what is the difference between this for loop and while loop is, okay, while loop, if you don't know how many times the statement should be executed, then go for which one? While. Okay, when you go for a while is if you don't know how many times, you know how many times should be executed. Suppose I want to repeat one statement 100 times, then I'll go for looping statement for loop. Suppose I want to execute one statement, but how many times I don't know. If you don't know how many times a statement should be, then if you know how many times the statement has to be repeated, then go for which one? For example, okay, suppose while, if you see while example, right? Okay, while example, simple example, if you see a basic example, if you see this one, suppose, okay, suppose for example, yes, a basic example I'm telling you when to use a while. If you don't know how many times loop has to be repeated, if you don't know how many times statements has to be repeated, then go for which one? While. For example, write a program to find the length of, okay, length of, or write a program to find the length of number. I want to find the length of a number. Okay, length of a number I want to find out. Suppose I input the number like some 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. How many digits are there in this number? How many digits are there? 5 digits are there. How many digits are there in this number? 5 digits are there. So 5. What is a 5 here? Length of the number. So how can you find the length of the number? You divide the number until number becomes what? 0. You divide the number until number becomes what? 0. Getting or not? You divide a number until number becomes what? 0. Then how many times? How many times I should repeat until number is what? 0. That is what? Condition, right? That is a condition. So what I'm doing, I'm just trying to input. What I'm doing first, I'm trying to input one number. So number is in which one here? A number is in integer. Enter any, what I said here, enter any number. So after that, there is a letter count of digits. So this count started from where here? 0. This count start from where? 0. Now my condition is while number is greater than what? 0. While number is greater than 0. What is the number? 45,789. Is it 45,789 is greater than 0 or not? Yes. Then what do you do it? You just say number equal to number divided by 10. Number equal to number divided by 10. Number divided by 10. Okay. So number divided by 10 means what you'll get? Suppose 45,789 divided by 10, you'll get what? 4,578.9. Yes or no? Then I'm converting this result, which is in float, into which type? I'm converting this result from float to which type? Integer type. I'm converting this result, which is in float, into which type? Integer type, by using one function called which one? Percent. So in this case, will it take 4,578.9 or only 4,578? Only 4,578. Then after dividing, you'll say count plus equal to what here? 1. So this count is incremented with the 1. Okay. Then next, what is the value of number? 4,578. Is it 4,578 is greater than 0? Yes. Then again 4,578 divided by 10. That will become 457.8. But that you are converting into which type? Integer type. Then it will take only integer, right? What is the value it takes? 4,570. 457. It will take what? 457. Is it 457 is greater than 0? Yes. Then again 457 more divided by 10. Then it will become what? 45.7. But you are converting that 45.7 into which type? Integer type. Then it takes only what? 45. Is it 45 is greater than 0? Yes. Now here I just write document dot. So write. So length is what you are printing here? Count value. So count value you're trying to print. Now you have to input one number. So number, yes, infinite. What happened here? So number, integer or prompt, enter any number. So number is greater than 0. Number equal to percent of number divided by 10. Number divided by 10. And I said count is count plus 1. Right? So what happened here? Mistake is there? So percent. Okay. Yes. So enter the number. What is my number? 123. And what is the length of this number here? 3, right? So I try to execute again. Okay. Enter the number. So 678. What is the length of this number? 5. So if you don't know how many times the loop has to be repeated, if you don't know how many times the loop has to be repeated, then go for which one? While. So while it followed by which one? Condition. Suppose you know how many times while loop or statements has to be repeated, then go for which one? For loop. Okay, then you can go for loop here. So what is the syntax of this for loop? Okay, so for loop is used. Now for loop is also entry control. For loop is also entry control. Now for loop is used to repeat. For loop is used to repeat one or more than one statement. For loop is used to repeat one or more than one statement. How many times? How many times here? Number of times. For loop is used to repeat one or more than one statement. How many times? Number of times, but not until condition. Number of times, but not until condition, right? Number of times. Number of times means, now what is the syntax of this for loop? So this is a syntax. If you see this syntax here, for, what is the keyword you are using? For. So for, what is this called here? initialization. For initialization, and next you are writing which one? Condition. And after that you are writing which one? Updation statement. Initialization is there and condition is there, and one more is what? Updation. It means in the while you are writing all these three statements at individual places, but when it comes to the for loop, you are trying to put all these three statements in one statement or not? Yes. So there is initialization and there is a condition and there is what? Updation. Updation statement, just open the block and then include the number of statements. That is statement 1 and statement 2. So what is initialization? The initial value of which one? For loop. What is the condition? This condition define how many times this for loop has to be repeated. What is the updation statement? This updation statement which update what here? Condition. For example, I want to execute this statement 1, statement 2 10 times. I want to execute this statement 1, statement 2 how many times? 10 times. Then I don't go for while loop, but I use which one? For loop. I'll say for let a equal to what? 1. Because you start counting from where? 1 onwards. Let a equal to 1 and a is less than or equal to what? 10 and then a plus plus. Let a equal to 1. See here. Let a equal to 1 and a is less than or equal to 10 and a plus plus. What is the value of a? 1. Is it 1 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. Condition is a true. Then I'll say console dot log as is print which value? A value. Then next a plus plus means the value of a becomes what? 2. Is it 2 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. A plus plus means 3. 3 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. A plus plus means 4. 4 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. A plus plus means 5. 5 is less than or equal to 10? Yes. How many times it will repeat? 10 times until a is greater than 10. If it is less than, it will continue. If it is greater than, it will stop. Getting or not? So there is initialization and there is a condition and there is what? Updation. But writing all these statements are optional. If you don't write initialization, condition and updation, it will try to repeat these statements. How many times? Infinite times. It will try to repeat this statement 1 and statement 2. How many times? Infinite times it will repeat. How many times it will repeat is infinite times. For example, now it is a script to generate or to print one table. I want to print one table, right? I want to print one table, like suppose a mathematical table, I want to print it. Okay. I want to print one table. Which table I want to print? A mathematical table I want to print. So first, what you're doing? You are trying to input one number. Okay. So first you are trying to input one number. For which number you want to print a table? For which number you need to print a table? So I read one number. I read one number. And this number should be multiplied how many times? Or this number should be multiplied how many times? 10 times. This number should be multiplied how many times? 10 times you have to multiply. This number should be multiplied how many times? 10 times you have to multiply it. Okay. You have to multiply this number how many times? 10 times you have to multiply it. Suppose if number is 5, suppose if the number is 5, multiply this 5 how many times? 10 times. 5 into 1, 5 into 2, 5 into 3, like this, right? So you should generate the numbers from 1 to, or you should generate the numbers from 1 to what? 10. You should generate the numbers from 1 to 10. How can I generate for let I equal to what? 1. Then I is less than or equal to 10. And then you are saying I plus plus. I plus plus, right? So the value of I is 1. 1 is less than or equal to 10. Yes. Condition is a true. Then let product equal to number into which one? I. Number into I, and then print it. Document dot write. So what you're writing? Okay, you are writing, what is the value you are writing? P. Or if you want in table format, first you can print what? Number, and then you can print some hex symbol, and then you can print which value? I value, and you can print equal symbol, and then you can print which one? P. So here you are trying to do a lot of concatenations, right? To this number you are concatenating with one X. To this you are concatenating which value? I value. Then you are concatenating what? Equal, and even which one? P. Now once you run this, is asking to input one number. So the number is some 5, and 5 is repeated how many times? How many times it is multiplied? 10 times. But is it printed in the same line or new line? Same line. But you want in the new line. What do you do it? Insert one line break or not? Yes. So concatenate. Concatenate which one? BR. BR represent line break. So is it in the same line or in the new line? New line. Okay, now this is generating one table. You just multiply one number. How many times here? 10 times. For that, I'm using which looping statement? For loop. Not only that, this for loop. Okay, not only that, this for loop is very much useful. Try to understand. So what is the syntax of this for? So there is first one. What is the first one? Initialization. Second one is condition. Third one is updation. So this update statement, which update what? Condition. This update is nothing but increment or decrement. This update statement is increment or decrement, right? Suppose okay, suppose assume that this is what will happen generally. For example, have an array. Okay, generally have an array. Array is there. So let A equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now what is this here? Array. Is it A is having one value or more than one value? More than one value. If I'm saying let B equal to 10, B is which type of variable? B is which type of variable? Number. A is which type? B is which type of variable? Number. A is which type of variable? Array. A is which type of variable? Array. How can you find the type? You can use which one? Type of which one? A. Type of A. Console dot log. Then I'm saying type of, what is this? B. I try to print type of A as well as what? B. So A, is it hold one value or more than one value? More than one value. If it is more than one value, it is taken this as which type? Object type. And this is which type here? Number type. Is it this is having one value or more than one value? More than one value. Okay. I want to read. For example, I want to read all the values from which one? Array. Now this is actually array. Okay. I want to read all the values from this array. How can I read all the values from the array? Okay, then what do you do it? What do you do it? You try to read it with the help of which one? Index. So let index equal to which one? 0. How many values are there? How many values are there in the array? 5 values. Index is less than or equal to what? Less than which one? 5. Index is less than 5. And then I'm saying index. Index what? Plus plus. Okay, then I'm saying document dot write. What I'm writing? A of which one? Index. But index starts from where here? 0. So A of 0 is a 10. A of 1 is a 20. A of 3 is a 30. A of 0 is a 10. A of 1 is a 20. A of 2 is a 30. A of 3 is a 40. A of 4 is what? 50. Okay. So is it this for loop is used? Even let read the values from which one? Array type. Okay. Very much useful when you are working with which one? Arrays. Okay. Now if you want in the new line, you just insert which line? Break. So concatenated break so that It will try to not print in the same line, but it's try to print in which one? New line. Huh? It's not a. Now you can see all the values. So that is 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50, right? So very much useful if you are working with the arrays, right? Very much useful if you are working with which data type? Array data type. Suppose, yes. So you can write number of examples. Okay. You can write so many examples, logical examples like how you work with the for. Okay, now suppose assume that write a script to find script to find input number. Input number is which one? Prime or not. This is just to understand for loop, but you are not using a JavaScript to find which number? Prime number. Okay, now you are not using a JavaScript to find a prime number, but just to try to understand, just to try to understand how to work with this. Okay, now see how can you find out a number is a prime number or not? So generally you'll say number which is divisible with one end itself is called which number? Prime number. Okay, the number which is divisible with one end itself is called as a prime number. So input the number first. Input the number first. Okay, parse int. Okay, parse int. Then I'm saying input. Input enter any what? Number. So after reading this number, you have to divide this number from, suppose for my number is 5, right? Now you have to divide this number with 1 and 2 and divide with a 3 and 4 and as well as with what? 5. So count the number of factors. How many times it is divisible? 2 times. Then you can say 5 is which number? Prime number. Okay, 5 is which number? Prime. So suppose 4 is there. Divide with a 1, divide with a 2, divide with a 3 and divide with what? 4. So 4 is divisible with 1, 4 is divisible with the 2 and 4 is also divisible with what? 4. Then number of factors are how many here? 3. Is it 4 is a prime number? No. 4 is not a prime number. Okay. Then divide the number. So I'm using count of factors. Now let the count is what here? 0. Let count is 0 and for let I equal to 1. I is less than or equal to what? Number and I plus plus. Means you are dividing a number until number. You are dividing a number from 1 to what? Number. So I value started from where? 1. The value of I is started from where? 1. And I is less than or equal to what? Number. So this is repeated how many times until I is less than or equal to what? Number. Suppose number is 5. I is 1. 1 is less than 5? Yes. I plus plus means 2. 2 is less than 5? Yes. I plus plus means what? 3. 3 is less than 5? Yes. I plus plus means 4. 4 is less than 5? Yes. So this is repeated until how many times it will repeat? Num times. How many times it will repeat? Num times. And if number mod I If number mod I double equal to 0, then you are saying count plus equal to what? 1. If the count is 2, then I'm saying document dot write. Which number it is? Which number? Prime number, right? I just write here print. This number is a prime. Otherwise, okay, you are saying document dot write. This is not a prime. So instead of writing again and again, what you can do is you can write. What you can write? Document dot write. What do you write? H1. This is a beginning of the H1. And this is not a prime. And then document dot write. And this is end of the H1. This is a beginning. And this is what here? Ending. But you are printing a message prime or not prime within. You are printing a message prime or not prime within H1. So this is the beginning of the H1 and this is what here? End of the H1. Beginning and one more is the end or sent. There is a mistake. Prompt. So prompt is there. So input number. So the number is a 5 and 5 is which number? Prime. Okay now. I try to input the number. So the number is some 9 is there. 9 is not a prime because 1, 3 and 9. So 3 factors are there. So if you want to repeat, just try to understand. If you want to repeat a block of statements number of times, if you want to repeat a block of statements number of times, then go for which one? For loop. If you know how many times the loop has to be executed, then go for loop. If you don't know how many times the loop has to be executed, then go for which one? While loop. So while required a condition, but for required even condition, but that condition specifies how many times it has to be executed, right? There is one more looping statement is it. Now this is about while and one more is which one? For. Okay, this is about while as well as for. So what is the difference between while and for? Tell me, what is the difference between while and for? Is it difference only in syntax? Is it difference only in syntax as well as usage or not? Yes. Okay. So if a programmer doesn't know how many times the statements to be executed, then go for which one? While. A programmer already know how many times it should be executed, then go for. But some more syntaxes of for is there. For in is there, for off is there. And that I'll tell you once we move to the arrays. Okay. For in is there and for off is there. Okay. So two more syntaxes are there. And that I'll tell you once we move to arrays. But right now, we'll try to see one more looping statement. And what is it? Another looping statement? Do while is there. One more looping statement is there. And what is that looping statement? Do while. Do while is which one? Exit control. Do while is a exit control. While is a entry control. For is a entry control. What is entry control? In entry control, first check the condition, execute statements, check the condition. If the condition is true, then only it will execute statements. In exit control, first statements and then execute condition. It means in exit control, the loop is executed at least one time. In exit control, the statements which are there inside the loop are executed how many times? One time. When you are working with the exit control loop like which one? Do while. So do while. Okay, do while is which statement? Exit control. Exit control looping statement. Okay, this is exit control looping statement. In this, I think already I've given the definition. Just write here one syntax. So do this. Okay, do this. Do this. Do this first. Do this first. Do this first and then check what? Do this first and then check what? Condition. Do this first and then check the condition. Execute these statements first. Execute the statements first. Okay, after executing the statements, then you check which one? Condition. If the condition is a true, it will continue the statement 1 and statement 2. If the condition is a false, will it continue or stop? Stop. If the condition is a false, it doesn't continue. What will happen? Stop. Okay, na? Right. Just to try to understand how to work with the do while. The best example for do while is the best example of the do while is finding. Suppose finding factorial of input number. Finding factorial of input number. Factorial. I want to find out the factorial, right? This is one of the best example to understand which one here? Do while. Okay, now. So first what I'm doing, I'm trying to input one. First what I'm doing, I'm trying to input one number. I try to input one number. I try to input one number. Then I'm saying prompt. Prompt enter any what? Number. Enter any number. So let number equal to % of prompt, enter any number. This number, you have to find out which one? Factorial. Suppose my number is, okay, assume that the number is, okay, number is 4. 4 factorial is what? 1 into 2 into 3 into what is that? 4. 4 factorial is what? 24. Okay, then assume that my number is, okay, my number is a 3. Then 1 into 2 into 3. 3 factorial is what? 6. My number is a 2. 1 into 2 and 2 factorial is what? 2. My number is 1. 1 factorial is what? 1. My number is 0. 0 factorial is what? 1. 0 factorial is also what here? 1. But you should execute the 0 factorial is also what here? 1. Okay, 0 factorial is a 1. Suppose if I enter number 0, then it should display the factorial as what? 1. Let us see this logic by using which one? Do while. Let us see this logic using do while. Okay, now just see here. Let us see this logic using do while. So let us say let factorial is what? 1. So why you have taken the value of factorial as a 1? Why you have taken the value of factorial as a 1? Because 0 factorial is what? 1. 0 factorial is what? 1. Because of that, the value of factorial is taken as what here? 1. Because 0 factorial is a 1. Because of that, the value of factorial is taken as what? 1. Let us say I equal to 1. Let us say I equal to 1 because I should multiply all the numbers from 1 to number. Let us say the value of I is what again? 1. Do this. Do this first. Do this one. Factorial is factorial into what? I. Do factorial equal to factorial into I. Then after that you are saying I plus plus. Then you are saying I plus plus, right? I plus plus. You are saying I plus plus. And after saying I plus plus, you are saying while I is less than or equal to what? Number. While I is less than or equal to number. See here. You should execute the logic of factorial at least what? Once. Execute the logic of factorial at least what? once, for example, my number is, assume that my number is what here? 0. 0. What is the value of factorial? 1. What is the value of I here? 1. Then is it checking first condition or directly inside the do loop, do while loop? Directly the control is moved inside which loop? Do while, and then it will multiply. Factorial is factorial into what? I. What is the value of factorial? 1. 1 into 1 is what? 1. Then I plus plus means the value of I becomes what? 2. But what is the value of number is given? 0. Is it 2 is less than 0? No. It just come out of the loop. It means I want to execute the logic of factorial how many times? At least 1 time. So find the factorial first and then check the condition. Find the factorial first and then check the condition. If you want the looping statement is executed 1 time, the statements inside the loop should be executed at least what? 1 time. Then use what? Do and while. Do and while. And then I'm saying document dot which one? Right. Then I just write it. Factorial. So factorial is, I just print, which one I print here? Fact value, right? So once you run this, so 4 factorial is what? 24. Once you run, sorry. So 4 factorial. Now suppose 2 factorial is 2. I try to enter 0. What is the number entered? 0. And 0 factorial is what here? 1. But is it execution of this factorial logic is done or not? Yes. Even though you enter the number as what? 0. Is it find the factorial for 0 or not? Yes. By saying factorial is factorial into I, which is nothing but 1 into what? 1 into 1, it becomes what? 1. If you want the content of the loop is executed at least once, then go for do while. Suppose read data, then check the condition. Read data and then check what here? Condition. Then in that case, you go for which one? Do while. Okay, go for do while. Display the menu first. Display the menu first. After displaying the menu, I want to choose the option. Okay, suppose if the option is 1, continue it. If the option is exit, then close it. But first you have to display what? Menu. Then choose the option. But you are not choosing the option first. Okay, you are not choosing the option first. You are choosing what? You are displaying the menu and then displaying what? Option. If the option is selected, then it should continue. If the option is not within the list of options, then you stop it. But first do this and then check the condition. Do this and then check the condition. In that case, you go for which one? Do while. But you check first condition and then do, then go for which one? While. Then go for while. So in application development, so there will be different situations in which you use either while loop or you use what? Do while, right? But if you want to terminate a looping statement in between, you terminate it by using statements called which one? Break. So there is a statement called break and there is one more statement called which one? Continue. Break and continue are there. Generally, these are called which statements? Some passes control statements, or you generally call it as branching statements. Like break and one more is which one? Continue. If you want to terminate a looping statement in between, you terminate it by using which keyword? Break. And if you want to continue the looping statement in between, then you can just use a statement called what? Continue. So break and continue are the keywords. So break, continue, comma, continue are keywords which represents what? Branching, which represent what? Branching statements. Or passes control passes control statements. Branching statements are passes control statements. Here in JavaScript, you also find labeled loops also. Means you can move from one looping statement to another. So when if you are writing a looping statement inside a looping statement, that is called as what? Nested looping statements, which you call it as nested while, nested for. And using break, you can break outer loop or you can break what? Inner. You can move control from inner loop to what? Outer loop by using which one? Continue. But there is a labeled loops also supported by which one? JavaScript. But break and continue are the keywords which represent branching statements or passes control statements. Okay, these statements are used, or these keywords are used. These keywords are used where? Inside which statements? Looping statements. You can use these statements only inside which statements? Looping statements. Like inside a while, you can use inside what? For. But you cannot use individually, right? Okay, you cannot say simply break. If we say simply break, what is a break? Is it any meaning if you write a simply break? If you write simply break, is it any meaning is there? No, there's no meaning writing only break. There's no meaning only writing which one? Break, right? क्या है यार ये? हाँ, रोहित किधर है? मूवी देख रहे क्या? हाँ, what do you type? What do you type? Rohit, mistakenly, yeah? Huh? WhatsApp, you are doing two things, huh? One thing, hyphen star slash. These are arithmetic operators. So is listening one more class. Yes or no? क्या बोलते हैं यार? Hyphen star slash are what? Which operators? Arithmetic operators. Means is listening another class. वो चार्ट विंडो में जाने से पहले इधर आ गया उन्हें. What year? Rohit, are you there or gone? By mistakenly तो hyphen star slash नहीं आता ना? By mistakenly you don't get hyphen star and slash, right? एक तो एक आता, तीन आता यार. No problem. You cannot write this break, right? You cannot write a break individually, but this break is written only inside which statement? Looping statements. Okay, now. But generally, this control statements nobody will touch it because they'll think that already you know for loop. Already you know what? While loop. Yes or no? But here we are learning these control statements from 1 week over. Control statements, how many? 1 week? When we started control statements? 1 week, 4 days. 4 days. From 4 days we are learning control statements. This 4 days, 4 days are right. 4 दिन से आप सीख रहे हैं ना? ओके ना? खाली आ रहे जा रहे, सही है नहीं? पर जो लोग है, suppose those who are not having any knowledge of programming language नहीं मालूम, they are starting first which one? HTML, then which one? CSS. Yes or no? Those starting HTML and CSS, for them they don't know what is if, what is operator, okay na? What is variable, what is constant. Those who are already having some knowledge of any programming language, they can understand what is variable, what is constant, what is data type. Nate pura kya rehta? Okay, for fresher everything ऊपर से चले आता. सही है नहीं गलत है? ये पूरा लेट क्या है, ये डू क्या है, वाइल क्या है, ये पूरा जरूरी है क्या मेरे को? Yes or no? But all these are used. All these are used when you are working with the HTML along with the JavaScript. So don't think that you are just learning what is do while and for. You have to remember all these syntaxes. You have to remember all these syntaxes, right? You have to remember it. Okay. Yes. Anyway, the next statement what you have is a break. So there is a break is there, and one more is a continue, break and continue. But these statements you are using only inside which statements? Looping statements like while, and one more is which one? Do while. Agar ye pura nahi bol, I mean without this, I can start directly JavaScript with what? HTML. I can put, okay, I can put the heading JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript with what? Bomb. Bomb, DOM. First DOM, then bomb. So what is a DOM? I start with DOM directly. Document Object Model. Then I start writing functions. You know how to write a function? You don't know how to write a function. Then before this, you should know how to write a function. How to write a function. Function with arguments. Function with return values. How to write a lambdas. How to write a callback functions. How to handle the events. If you know all these things, then this JavaScript with DOM and which one? BOM becomes very easy. Okay, anyway, no problem, but we'll see like how to work with this. Okay, browser object model. Okay, so break continue. Bomb bole to wo bomb nahi. Yes. So break continue. Okay, we'll discuss about this. Break continue. Tomorrow we'll discuss this break and continue. And then we'll see working with one more type called which one? Arrays. But I'm not telling how to work with the nested. Abhi ek for loop to malum hai. Then I should know how to write a for loop inside a for loop. But anyway, 1-2 examples I'll give you. And then we'll see working with which one? Arrays. In arrays, I'll tell you how to work with 2 more syntaxes of using for loop. That is for in and for off. Okay. So these 2 syntaxes we'll see. And then we'll see how to write what? Functions. How to write the functions. So without functions, you cannot do anything in what? JavaScript. Now, as a JavaScript developer, you should